So in this video, I'm just going to run through a few quick tips on working with graphic objects within PowerPoint, which should hopefully save you a little bit of time. So I'm going to have a look at creating this diagram here that I've got on this slide. So I'm going to delete it all to start with. So I'm going to insert my shape. So if I just go to Insert and Shapes. And the first thing to mention, although I want rectangles, if I wanted a square or maybe a circle, if I select the rectangle tool and hold the Shift key, you'll see how I get a true square. Same with circles. If I go into Insert, choose the oval, when you hold the Shift key as you drag, you'll get the true version of the shape. So I actually wanted a rectangle, so let's just resize that one to maybe there. So I now want 4 of these, so I could copy and paste, but a quicker way is to use Control and D, which will duplicate. If I now move that shape to roughly where I want it to be, the advantage of the Control and D for duplicate is if I now do that again, you'll see how it duplicates the shape, but the place that I want it positioned as well. So if I do that one more time, I've got my 4 shapes. So I want to recolor these, and I'm going to use colors which I've got in this picture down here. So to do that, select your shape, go to the shape format, and in shape fill near the bottom you have something called eyedropper. So if I choose the eyedropper, I can now position over the colors I want. Let's go with that one. Let's do the same. So shape fill, eyedropper. So maybe go with the light blue. Again, shape fill and eyedropper. Let's use the yellow, and let's just do the last one. And let's maybe go with one of the darker blues. So it's a very quick way of keeping nice consistency with the colours that you're using. So I wanted to connect these with an arrow, which again is very straightforward. So if I pop into Insert Shapes and choose the arrow that I want, the important thing with this is to hover over these little circles that appear. They're connectors from one shape to the other. So if I click on one of the connectors, and then when I move to the other shape, choose one of the others, you'll see by the green dots that those are now selected and connected to each other. So again, if I do that one more time, Insert, Shape, select the arrow and go from one connector dot to another, and it's those green dots that show that they're connected. If I just get rid of those arrows a moment, just to mention a couple of other useful features. So if I move my shapes a little bit so that they're here and there, if I want to line these up quickly, if I just select them all, you can use the options under shape format under align. So I might want to align these on the top edge, and the other feature that you've got in alignment is to align them and distribute them. So we can distribute these horizontally, and that will even out the space between each one. So the next thing I'm going to have a look at is how I can quickly replace a picture. So I have a picture here which I want to replace with the picture that's on this slide here. So if I select this picture and copy it, go back to the slide, make sure I've chosen the picture, and again on picture format you have the option of change picture, and quite a few options you can choose, but in my case it's the from clipboard option that I need to select, and it will just replace it with the one that I selected on the other slide. The other thing which is quite nice with images as well, you'll notice that if I move this one around, it's got this sort of white background, so if I'm wanting to position it quite close to something, that's going to be difficult to do. I can get rid of that white background quite easily, again under picture format. This time you go to colour, and you need to choose the option near the bottom where it says set transparent colour. I get this sort of paintbrush attached to the mouse, and you basically just choose the colour that you're wanting to make the transparent. So in this instance, if I click on that white background, you'll see now that I can reposition this so it's much nearer to the other elements on my slide. Another nice option when I'm looking at pictures, if I select this graphic that I've just been taking the background off, you can recolor them to again match the sort of color scheme that you're using. Again, it's another option under picture format. and under the colour option, and you'll see you've got a variety of different options, sort of faded or bright colours that you can go with. And if I choose, let's just go with that one, it will then just tone down the image that you're using. So the last thing I'm going to have a look at is how we can break smart arts down into their graphic components. I've got a smart art here which I've just inserted, and under the smart art there's quite a limit really as to what I can do with this. So if I break it into its component parts, I can then, add additional arrows. I might want to make the circles bigger, that type of thing. So make sure it's selected and you're on Smart Art Design, and it's the button at the end where it says convert, and in this case I want to convert to shapes. So you'll see now these are all individual shapes. So I could copy my arrow, maybe move one. I could make any of the circles larger. Remember, if you're using shift when you're resizing things, you'll always get a true circle. And then obviously you could type information into these as needed. So quite a nice feature to know about. So I hope you enjoyed those tips and find them useful when you're working with PowerPoint.